So Aqua Lifestyle's test boat is a 2004 17 Montauk Boston Whaler. She's an old girl, but she's a great boat, very seaworthy, can take her out in all kinds of conditions, and is a great form or format to be able to test a bunch of electronics and a bunch of different boating gear. We got her used. She was sunbaked, sat at most of her life on davits, and was pretty sunbaked and in pretty bad shape as far as the dash condition. So we decided we needed to fix up the console, fix up the dash a little bit. We couldn't be testing really nice electronics like this on a boat that looked like it was 21 years old and sunbaked and couldn't see the gauges, and so you can see from some of these pictures it was in bad shape. So what we ended up doing, obviously, we're on a tight budget, so we had to figure a way to make her look as good as we could without spending a whole bunch of money. So what we ended up doing is putting a starboard or kingboard, a marine board, depending on who you buy it from, cap to cover all the holes at the top of the console from all the old electronics and compass and other equipment that was here before, from previous owners. Covered it up with a nice piece of starboard, and we ended up going with a new dash panel, this by FP Marine. Not a sponsor, but did really nice work, and they had templates for OEM panels. I had them customize it slightly, changing gauges, adding some switches, moving things around. Very easy to do with them, and put some new gauges in because the old ones were very sunbaked, and put all new switches, new breakers in. We had a VHF that was right here that was very severely corroded, was completely shot when we got the boat, so pulled that out. Just using a handheld VHF for now, so it didn't need a fixed mount. Not going that far offshore in this thing, so used a piece of scrap starboard from the panel and covered up the hole. Now we've got silicone underneath to seal it to make sure no water gets in all the drill holes, stainless steel hardware with finish washers, and we did the same with the panel up here. The electronics, we'll talk about that in just a second here. There was an old stereo that was mounted in here that also was not working. Ripped that out. I think we're probably going to use a Bluetooth system on the boat. Again, I want to keep it as simple as possible, as low maintenance as possible, so ended up cutting out a bigger hole and put this little glove box in here from Deep Blue Marine in Tarpon Springs. Again, not a sponsor, but just they do really nice stuff. It's a great little tiny box which is lockable, that you can put your keys, your wallet. I've got the boat documents in a little waterproof box here. A nice cloth there to be able to wipe down the screen, and you can close it and lock it. All stainless hardware. Really nice little glove box. I'm actually going to get from them a larger glove box and put it in down here just for more storage for cell phones and keys and that kind of thing. And they have one which is about twice as wide as this, and a little bit taller, that will fit in perfectly at the spot here. Be replacing these speakers here soon too. The throttle, I was going to buy a new cover because it was really sunbaked, as you can see in this picture, and I was going to buy a new one, and they were over $100 to replace it. So I said, well, I'm repainting the cowling on the engine, so let me use some of that paint, and it's just a Quicksilver rattle can Mercury black, Phantom black paint. Taped it up, taped the logo, taped the trim on the outside up, sprayed it, put a couple of coats of clear coat on it, and I think it came out pretty well. And it's durable, it's rugged, and polished up the chrome. The shifter is working very well now. Got new shifter cables in there. The trim and tilt is working perfectly, so just went with cleaning that up. The cup holders were black plastic, and they were sun-baked. They have drain holes down at the bottom in there, and the barbs for the drain tubes were broken off, and the drain tubes were laying in the bottom of the console, so we replaced them with these nice white cap stainless steel cup holders. They have rubber inserts on the bottom, which is nice, so you don't drinks don't slip around. And they have barbs on there. I've got new tubes that drain down on the bottom side of the console out onto the deck, so even if they get rainwater or water or beverage or whatever, it'll just drain right out into the deck. They come with nice little foam gaskets too, double-sided foam gaskets with adhesive on it, so they're sealed and adhered into place. They're not coming out. just gives it a nice look. Place the lanyard. Ignition switch, you can see, is a little sun-baked, but ignition switch, there's nothing wrong with that, so we'll just touch up the black on the inside there. That's pretty much it. We put a new compass on, a little bit larger compass than the one that was there, that was drained and sun-baked. So we've got a new compass, and this is something that every boat should have. Every boat out there should have a magnetic compass on board. If all this fancy electronics fails, you have a compass. And with a compass, you can get yourself home. So that's basically it on the console. The windshield was fogged and in very bad shape. So what we ended up doing was using a 3M product called Finesse It. It's a very fine cut compound. Worked the windshield on both sides with the Finesse It, doing several coats of it, putting it on a small section at a time and then rubbing it off, all hand rubbing it, and it brought the windshield right back. There are some spots and some marks in the plexiglass, but it is 21 years old, so I think it looks pretty good for a 21-year-old plexiglass windshield. And we didn't have to replace that after using the Finesse It and buffing it out. Because we're going to be testing all different kinds of electronics on board, I wanted a system that we could swap the displays out easily. Right now we're taking a look at the fantastic NSX wide, ultra wide, the NSX ultra wide from Simrad. Great display. We're going to be doing some videos on these, so stay tuned for that. What we did was to make it portable, and so that we could switch out displays easily, we went with a ram mount and a bracket system, so we can just change the bracket out. I'm not drilling holes and mounting into the console, creating a bunch of holes and a bunch of issues. With this ram system, it's very easy to remove the electronics if you want to. You can adjust the height of it very easily, and you just basically put it in the position that you want and clamp it down, and you're off to the races. You can put stuff underneath, your phone or other items underneath if you want, and it's fully adjustable, so you can set the display to however you want. Behind it here we have a cable gland, a through deck fitting, which also enables me to change out the power cables but keep everything inside the console dry. You know, all the electronics, everything inside there dry. And the way that works is you've got a rubber seal in the middle that you drill out. They give you little copper tubes that you can drill out the right size for your cables, and then as you put the cover on here, it cinches down the rubber around the cables and creates a nice watertight seal. We'll have a short video on these guys. Again, not sponsors, just really like their product. We'll have a short video on these guys that you can check out. So that's really it for the console, getting it looking decent for our videos. It wasn't a very expensive procedure, doing all the work ourselves, with the exception of course, making the panel. The original panel, I tried compounding it the same way we did the windshield, wet sanding and compounding it to get it back to a shiny luster. But I'm afraid it was just too far gone. It was very porous. It had hairline cracks where the screws have been over tightened in the past. All the lettering was faded. Could barely see it. So I decided that we'd spend a little bit of money and get a replacement dash panel, and I'm glad we did. We were able to add 2 accessory switches, move things around a little bit. I changed out the 12-volt outlet for a dual USB outlet, since everything now charges off USB, and changed the gauges out, put some new gauges in, able to get everything labeled, which was really nice. And of course we got all new breakers, push button breakers with white breaker boots on. So that's the dash. Not very expensive way of making a 21-year-old boat look a lot newer than that. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you back here soon.